Studio, and you are tuned into Mystic Mommy Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about dream symbolism, just like different kind of dreams and like when you experience certain kind of dreams, what it means, the meanings of it. It is different around other cultures, so I can only tell you from what I know, what I experience. It might resonate with you, it might not. Other than that, we're going to get tapped in. We're going to also talk about the different kinds of dreams. And their meanings. I'm also going to promote myself as I always do, and I'm on Patreon, and that's patreon.com/Kira the Healer. I am also on Etsy. I sell a lot of like my cleaning products and spiritual products, and you can check me out. That's mysticmamihealing.store. I'm also on IG and TikTok. I will put all the information in the description box below. But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in, getting tapped in with me. I love you. I appreciate you. Stay tuned. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about some of this shit, all right? All right, so dream symbolism. I'm bringing this up because dreams are across like many various different cultures. We always talk about the purpose and the meanings of dream, right? Dreams. How dreams are able to not only predict the future and decipher things, but it's also a realm for us to be able to connect to the spiritual world, the past, the present, the future. It's a portal. It is a state of consciousness. It's a state of being. With that being said, I think it's important to be able to understand and decipher dreams. I know there are people who do not have dreams, but or that don't have dreams. I'm putting quotation marks around that because I met plenty of people who said, "Oh, I don't have dreams. I can't dream," and then they end up contacting me and telling me, "Oh, I had a dream about A, B, and C. Can you tell me what it means?" Right? Because I'm the dream lady. I'm the go-to. I'm the medicine woman. I'm the understander of all things. So I have people who come to me and tell me they went through this kind of thing and they experienced this kind of thing because they had a dream or whatever the case is. So I would like decipher and let them know what's going on. I usually do the same for myself, okay? So first I'm going to talk about the different kind of dreams that you could have, and then I'll go more into like some symbols and like recurring things that happen in the dream that allow you to know exactly what it is that is occurring in your life for that to happen. Especially, we're going to talk about the twin flame dreams. If you have not been in connection, and that's the thing, twin flames, everybody, not everybody is going to agree with me with what I'm saying, experience their twin flame or whatever the case is. And all I can say is to each its own. You know what I mean? There are some people who be like, oh, not everyone has a twin or whatever the case is. I just feel like some people haven't gotten to that stage of life as yet to where they understand that connection and stuff like that. But I'm gonna also talk about my twin flame dreams because that started getting really crazy, and I couldn't talk to nobody about it because when I would open up about it, they would think it's something completely different. Anyway, I'll even talk a little bit about that because those twin flame dreams were fucking intense, and that's what I'm saying. There's different kinds of dreams, right? There are dreams that you have that are symbolic, that are messages, right? So you could have a dream about your teeth falling out, right? And those are dreams that are letting you know you have a lot of anxiety in your life. You need to calm down. You need to take a slower step or pace because you are, full speed ahead, just like crashing into shit and really just stressing yourself out more than you need to. Like, it's a lot of big events that you have going on in your life, and it's going to end up like being something bigger. Also, for example, in Caribbean culture, fish, if you dream of fish, it means that somebody around you is pregnant. These are symbolic dreams where there is a message to be told to you, okay? There's an actual message. You're not experiencing anything necessarily in the dream. It's more so like a message has to be told to you, and it's, your guides, your ancestors are coming to you and sharing this message with you ultimately, right? You have those kind of dreams that are actually sharing a symbol with you, letting a message, okay? You also have the dreams where these are, and it's very funny because I'll tell you the story of my ex as well. Because this is how I started to know, okay? You have also the dreams where they are forewarnings, right? And I don't mean necessarily like the fish dreams or stuff. I mean when you have an entity attachment, black magic put on you, any kind of, dark negative shit like that, somebody sending something your way, you will have these kind of dreams. They feel very realistic. It don't feel like you're dreaming. You feel conscious and aware, but you are in a dream realm. You are in a state of it's like in your subconscious, kind of. You're aware but not really of what's going on, and it's not until you come out of that dream state that you can remember what the fuck happened because it was so fucked up. I'll give you a few examples of mine. How I know somebody has put something on me is because in the dream, um, there's something about sexual assault in me. I'm sorry, trigger warning. Me being sexually assaulted, that just puts, it gives me anxiety. And it has to do with my past. I definitely feel like I healed from a lot of it. And then the past relationships that I had, it kind of like uprooted that, and I needed to work through it. And whatever the case is, I needed to heal and trust and understand not everybody's like that. And I went through the emotions and I'm understanding it and I'm working on myself. But it's something about whoever my enemy is, it's like if they know that, or when they get the black magic put on me, it's purposely to attack my fears. And that's one of my fears, is allowing somebody to get that close and then to harm me again. So in my dreams, it's usually an older male, but he looks kind of like a demon, and they will like hold me down and they would sexually assault me in the dream. And that's how I know that something has attached itself to me. Somebody has sent something my way. That's usually how it goes for me. My and that I've had multiple dreams like that, and that's how I always know, like, oh fuck, like here we go, we got spell work to do, you got to cleanse, you got this other stuff that you have to do. But I had an ex who told me, or his father told me, we were having a conversation, we was talking. I talked about this on my podcast. I'll probably do another episode like that, like the spooky stories and stuff like that, like true stories or whatever. I don't remember what I talked about last time, but I know this story I talked about it for certain because me and his dad was chopping it up one night, and he was telling us shit, and I was just like, yo, this is wild. Like, I did not expect it to go this way. But he was talking in the dream, or he was talking about he had a dream. His friend basically was ill, and he like in okay, so in real life his friend was ill, and he would go to see this friend after school and check up on him like, hey, how are you doing? But the friend was like very sick. In his dream, he had a messenger come to him and tell him, um, so and so is going to invite you to their house, but when you go to their house, don't sit down on this chair. And the angel, the guardian, the ancestor, whoever it was, showed him the picture of the chair. Like, do not sit. They're gonna try to get you to sit on this chair. Don't sit on the chair, because if you sit on the chair, it's like you guys are gonna swap basically. Like, he's gonna be sick, or you're gonna be sick, and he's gonna be okay again. So he was just like, okay. Lo and behold, his friend invited him over the next day from school, and he stopped by and he talked to the friend, and him and his friend and his friend's family was trying to convince him to sit in a chair, sit in a chair, sit in a chair, sit in a chair. He would not. He refused to sit in a chair. And because he knew subconsciously, or he trusted whatever message was given to him in that dream, that if he sat in that chair, that the black magic would be put on him to where, or the spell work will be done and put on him to where he would then have to sit in the chair, and then he will become ill and his friend will be okay. It's like they're swapping, right? He's using his body now. He's a host. So you will get those dreams as well, the forewarning dreams. I'm telling you, mine is very weird. It's like it feeds on my fears, or it knows my fears and wants to feed on it. And then mine will always be sexual assault dreams. It's never any other way. It's always somebody doing that. And I guess because that's one of the very few times that I felt so vulnerable and out of control. Um, I also have daydreams where I would have a deity that I work with come to me and tell me, you need to do A, B, and C because somebody did this. A lot of the time when I meditate or something like that, or usually when I'm in that state of just waking up, I would be able to receive a message from whoever's trying to give me that download, and they would tell me, do this, do that, or whatever the case is, and block whatever is going on. I've had people who tried to put love spells on me, and it came to me in that same time. Um, where I was told to block or do whatever the case is. That's another story. You know what? I actually have plenty of fucking stories for y'all. So I'm gonna make a spooky time confession podcast for y'all because I got some fucking stories. Okay, true fucking stories. I would not sit here and lie and make this shit up because I never wanted to fucking experience this shit. I can tell you that. But you have those dreams as well where they're like forewarnings. You can feel the difference because the forewarning ones, you remember everything. There's also, you'll remember the ones with the dream symbolism, but sometimes it's like, oh, there was like a 10-foot giant, bunny rabbit, and it's like you can't put everything together. But the forewarning ones, you will remember. It will feel like whoever was there was in the room with you, or was just actually present. You will remember every single fucking detail of it, because it's a forewarning. You're being warned about something. And then, honestly, the dreams where you don't really remember anything, you also, I'm a firm believer that our dreams are just connections to other dimensions. We are allowing, there's no way that we could sit here and think that our physical body is just meant to live and exist on one plane, one three-dimensional realm. When you have the capability to meditate and go wherever it is that you please, your body and your cells regenerate and heal itself through meditation, through different states of sleep. Okay, I do hypnosis as well, and I have been able to help people cure issues, all this craziness, through a state of sleep. So to think that we are just stuck on this three-dimensional realm at all times it's fucking absurd. It's crazy because we have science that have proven so much through healing through sleep and meditation and all these other things. So I am a firm believer that when we dream and we go to sleep and we're in that state, we do have, it's astral travel. You have the ability to go into the past, into the future, certain places with certain beings. You have that ability. So astral travel is another form of dreaming, right? Um, I'm putting quotation marks around that because I'm using that very loosely. But we have the ability. I feel like those dreams that you have where you can't fully remember what was going on or what happened, but you dreamed, you were traveling to some part, some other realm, some other dimension, some other timeline, and you were existing into it. Because if you think about it, it's very difficult for you to even prove the fact that you were here, right? That this actually happened. If you even think back to past events and stuff like that, how are you able to decipher between the truth and the reality of something? If you have photos, photographic, videographic evidence, that's completely different. But to say that something happened, that's happened plenty of times where I was having a conversation with somebody and they said something and I'm like, it's crazy because I don't remember it like that. I thought you said like this and that. And then they're just like, what? And it's like you can remember two different, completely different situations. There's times that I had dreams that were so fucking realistic that I was thinking like, yo, I swear that shit really happened, but it was really just a dream. So for us to sit here and deny the fact that we think that when we go to sleep, we just sleep and our body's just resting. What about the consciousness? Your consciousness does not turn off. Just because the body is not active, what about the soul? The soul goes to sleep. Energy is constantly in motion. Energy does not die. It does not cease. It does not take a resting state. Energy is always moving. It's always in motion. So as the body sleeps, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the soul, right, your consciousness is still continuing to operate whether your body is active or not. A lot of people will think that they have a vivid imagination. It's, sweetheart, you have the ability to hop, skip, and go to different timelines. Take advantage of that. But understand that, as much as you would like to think that your physical body is in control of everything, it's not, because your mind, your soul, your consciousness is such a powerful thing. Dreams are not just dreams. They are pathways, portals, and gates to other dimensions and realms. It allows you to have access to be able to jump across different timelines, whether it's to heal, to visit, to understand and comprehend something. But we have that ability through dreams, that portal. We just don't go to sleep and it just shuts off. I think it's crazy when there's so many people who say like, oh, I don't dream, or I don't, you know what I mean, I don't remember my dreams, or it don't, to think that it means absolutely nothing it's absurd. Personally, to me, I could just be talking on my ass right now. I'm just going off of experience. But I do also want to go into I also want to talk about sound healing, because I feel like I talked about a little bit about healing the body and mind through meditation. I'm also going to talk about sound healing because there's been studies. There's a book that I've been reading, Becoming Supernatural, where there's a scientist, and this is all facts. There's a scientist who help people heal their body through sound. It literally regenerates the cells through frequency. And there was actually another scientist who built a machine that gave off a certain amount of frequency or hertz, and it was healing people. It was healing the cells in their body, regenerating the cells, getting rid of the unhealthy parts, masses and stuff that grows inside your body was being healed and dissolved, right? Because if you think about things, right, like for example, a cancer grows into something. What they were doing was shrinking stuff. They were able to heal stuff by shrinking masses and having them dissolve and regenerate new, healthy, brand new cells. And can you imagine, like Big Pharma, if they actually got a hold of, like, or they actually did get a hold and it became illegal. I'm going to find that information, but I'm going to talk, you know what, I'm going to keep this episode to dreams, because I tend to do something else. I start hopping into other conversation and straying off and digressing, and I'm coming back. Okay, I will come back to that. But the point that I'm trying to say with dreams, right, it's absurd to think that after you go to sleep at night that you just go to sleep and that your mind, your subconscious just clicks off. It's just done. Like it's just done. There's nothing else to it. That's it. It's a little crazy to think, that subconscious, that everything is so reliant on the physical body, when it's literally the consciousness, it's the soul, right, that has a lot of access and control. It's allowing us to stay alert and awake and aware of what's going on. But when you start doing quantum leaping and stuff like that, there are areas where it starts to feel like it's all meshing and blending together, and you're not able to decipher truth from reality. It could be the same with dreams. It could start being so intense. I have very vivid, intense dreams, which it took me a while to be able to decipher what was what. But it was also so intense that, I had to remember what was a reality and what was an actual dream at one point, especially when I'm timeline hopping, because when I start doing quantum leaping, I start feeling like everything is a dream. My interactions with people when I wake up, and I will be like, I know I'm awake right now. Like, I know I'm awake. I know, like, this, it feels like it's real. It's here. It feels like materialistically, like, here, like I can feel it. But then it's like the interactions, the way that it feels the energy, and that's what it is. Like in the dream, you can tell the difference between when it's a dream and when it's real life because the energy. But when you start quantum leaping, because like I said, dreams are access, it's portals, right? It's you being able to access another portal, another dimension, another timeline. A lot of the time when we start doing quantum leaping and quantum healing, right, we're hopping into a different timeline, another dimension, right? That's how it is for dreams. You being able to alternate back and forth between these two dimensions. Your soul is being able to go back and forth between those dimensions. Right? That's exactly what it is. You're able to hop and forth between those dimensions, and when you start quantum healing, that's exactly what happens is you're going into that dream state in the reality. In your conscious waking days, you're able to shift what you would do in dreams, right? Go from that dream realm to the physical 3D dimension that you're in right now, and you're able to access it. But what happens is those timelines start to bleed, and it feels fucking weird until you're able to fully shift into the dimension that it is that you're requiring or desiring, right? So I'm gonna talk a little bit about dream symbolism because you know your girl can rant, okay? I would just rant on and on about stuff like this all day. It's probably why I don't have a spouse now, because don't nobody want to sit here and listen to somebody talk 3 hours about quantum leaping and dreams and uh, fucking big pharma not wanting us to know that you could heal yourself with music, because they'll be like, girl, you're fucking nuts. You are absolutely nuts. You know that? I know. But dream symbolism. So common dream symbolisms, right? Waters, big bodies of water. Also, not. Oh, I also got to talk about twin flame dreams. Maybe I'll before I get I'm getting ahead of myself. Before I start talking about dream symbolisms, common dream symbolisms, I'm gonna talk about the twin flame dreams because those were intense. I remember going through like my dark night of the soul. It was my dark night of the soul last for a long fucking time. But towards the end, I started feeling like there was more. I needed to heal. And I started digging and digging. And I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. There's a part of me that is missing and I can't see and I don't understand. And then twin flame stuff started popping up. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And I started like doing my research, and it's crazy because then I sell candles and stuff on Etsy, and somebody local within my neighborhood around the time where I'm doing all this understanding about who I am, and I'm like, I think the thing that I'm missing is my twin. Like, I need to know my twin so that I could heal. The only way for me to be able to heal and understand the deeper, darker myself, because that's what the shadow part of me. I couldn't heal her. I couldn't find her. I didn't know who she was. So I felt like I needed to find my twin in order for me to be able to do that. In order for me to be able to heal those deep, dark parts of myself, I needed to find my twin, my other half, right? That's what I was convinced, at least. Um, so oddly enough, the craziest shit, I started going through these issues with my partner at the time. Like, we were going through a shit ton of issues in our relationship. It started getting rocky. I was just trying to find myself more. And then I was doing candles on Etsy, and then I had somebody reach out to me. They were like, hey, I love your products and stuff. I love your candles. How about, can I pay you and I'll come pick them up in person? I was like, yeah. And she was like, you could save on shipping and whatever the case is, blah, blah. I was like, fuck yeah. So I meet her, and then we start talking, and then we kind of like traded information. And I look her up, and she did twin flame readings. And I was like, okay, that's very weird. Come to find out, she's like a whole twin flame coach and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, this is nuts. So I get a reading, and then she starts telling me about her twin. And it's so crazy enough because this is what I'm going to talk about, because I wanted to talk about the dreams. When I started doing the twin flame stuff, like the work, or looking up into it, I started having these crazy dreams. And I remember like on a new moon, I asked to meet my twin flame. So I was like, I'm ready, like, to just let go of this. I want some real shit. Give me my twin. I want to heal. Da da da. And it was just nuts. Like, I remember the dream after that was me and and it was this, I would have this mystery man. It was this man, and he stopped coming. He doesn't come anymore in my dreams, which is crazy. But it was this man. He was like a shadow figure, but he would talk to me and hold me, and he was just the sweetest thing. And I'm like, whoever this is, I need to get to meet him. Like, I feel like this is the person that I've been looking for. And he would come every once in a while in my dreams, like, and it was like I never knew when he was going to come. And then I started having dreams about my twin, and his ancestors would come visit me, and they would talk to me and tell me about this person. It was fucking nuts. Okay, like I felt so connected to somebody before, like to this person, because like I said, their ancestors were visiting me and telling me this person, like, hold on for them, because, or pray for them, because they're going through a lot and all this other stuff. And simultaneously, I was going through my own shit. They were also telling me, like, I would dream about whatever this person was going through, like in the physical realm, like they got into a car accident in real life. And I just remember having, like, me and this person had to talk for a while, and I had to call them. I'm like, I don't know why I'm calling you, but I had to call you because something feels off. Like, I had a dream you were in a car accident, whatever. And it was like, I actually, like, totaled my car. It was crazy. Like, the whole situation was crazy because I was getting all these downloads from this person. Ultimately, before, like, I just, like, left that shit alone, or I left that person alone. It was like such a deep connection. Like, I was dreaming about the stuff that this person was going through. I would dream about, like, our future life, like babies and stuff, but it was always broken. It was always like a broken home thing. And I think that had allowed me to heal everything that I need to heal. Like, I came from a broken home. I always wanted, a life partner. I want my kids to be in a healthy, stable relationship. I want them to have two parents, not only just two parents in a household, but two parents who love the fuck out of each other. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I always wanted. With my twin, I just knew I wasn't gonna be able to get that because they were from a broken home, and not like all the shit, you know what I mean, that I went through. They was going through it too, or they went through it and they needed to heal from it. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say, the twin flame dreams, it literally, I was so connected to this person. Like, I could see whatever they was going through. I could feel whatever they was going through. The craziest thing I talked about before, I don't want this to turn into a whole twin flame thing, but I would listen. I would wake up in the morning and I would hear music playing. I kid you not, everything I love. Me and the person was still in contact. They would send me the same exact song, or they would text me, and I'm literally like listening to the song or something in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And then I will look at my phone, and I'm just like, la 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 la. You wake up in the morning, you just kind of roll over, and and then it's like they would text me. It was nuts. So that was my experience though with the twin flame stuff. I'm not, like I said, I don't want to get into it because this was definitely about dreams, and I started talking about quantum leaping and healing and all this other stuff that I wasn't supposed to. But yes, symbolism in dreams though, I do want to talk about that. Um, Bodies of water, and this is why I brought my twin flame up, because when I was talking about bodies of water, okay, not just oceans, but usually like turbulent bodies of water, pools. So for me, bodies of water are connected to your emotions, depending on how the body of water is reacting. It also depends, because it could, when I started first working with deities, the deities would come to me because deities are like they're energy, right? These are energies, um forces. So they would come to me. I worked with a water, or I have a water deity that works with me, right? And how she came to me was in the form of water. And it was a beach. I was at a beach and it was so calm and cool. And I remember walking into her and I was like, "Thank you, mother." And I'm like washing myself in the water. This was in a dream. And that's how I knew she wanted to work with me, right? She was calling me into the water. But I've also had dreams of water. And one of them was the twin flame dream. Um, where I remember I was walking in a house with a little girl, and it's so crazy because I don't have. I have a son. I have a kid, but I have a son. He's older, but it was a little girl, and I used to dream about this little girl since I was a fucking kid, which is crazy. So I guess this is valid. This is in context, right? I'm still talking about the same thing, but ever since I was a little kid, and that's another thing I do want to talk about reoccurring dreams as well, right? When I was a little kid, I would dream about this house, but we're not. You know what? We're not gonna talk about that because I'm gonna talk about the recurring dreams. But okay, I used to dream about this little girl, right? I have dreamt about this little girl ever since I was a little girl. And she kind of looks like me, like fair, fairish kind of skin color, or tannish kind of skin color. I look a little pale. I don't feel like I'm this pale in person, but she was a little like fair skin, or caramel color. I want to say more of like a dusty fair, you know, kind of color, like a little bit of a darker tone. Um, Beautiful big eyes and pigtails and curly. And it wasn't me as a kid because I was very pale as a kid. This was like very. It was crazy because even as a kid she felt like my daughter, like she felt like she was my kid. Like I don't even know how to explain that, but she felt like she was my kid. So I remember in this dream it was water, and it was in a house. I was in a pool. Sorry, my cat is like all over the place right now. Ma'am. Rude. God damn, stepping all over the computer. So it's a big, oh, like a big pool of water. It's like really high. Like the water's coming up to here. And it's like blue water everywhere. Very blue water, but it felt sad. The water was so still and stagnant. When the water was still and stagnant, I had my daughter, I had her like up on my shoulders, and like I'm walking through the water, and I'm like calling his name, and he's like, "I can't be with you." And I'm like, "Why can't you be with me?" He was like, "Because he's gonna go back with his wife." And I'm like, "So you're just gonna like leave us? Like, why would you do this to me?" And I started like crying, and I had the daughter, and he was like, I can't do this," or whatever the case is. Mind you, in real life he was not married. But it just always felt like I was put on the back burner. I've always like I was definitely put on the back burner. Like everybody else was always putting themselves ahead of me, and I was always put on the back burner. So I just remember like walking with her, whatever the case is, and we were just trying to figure things out. Sorry, I feel like I always get distracted. I can never do like one episode where it's just straight through. Okay. But yeah, so I feel like I always let people put me, or in the past I would let men put me on the back burner, whatever the case is. Especially in our situation, I was never a priority. Like we was never going to work out cuz I was never a priority in his eyes. Like I always was doing, like my best to be with him and heal myself so we could be together. But it was like he had so much work that he needed to do. That was the last motherfucking thing that I should have had on my mind. But I just remember like I was crying in the dream, and the energy felt so depressive and sad. And that's usually how it goes. However the water is, right? It usually determines what the dream is going to be like. So like I said before, when I was, the deity came to me in my dream. It was calm, blue, beautiful waters, but this water was like sad, and um, it was also like leaking from the house. So like it's a representation. Water can be a representation of your emotions. If you're feeling consumed or sad, it's like you're allowing yourself to wallow in unnecessary emotions. You need to start healing from that. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to understand that you need to heal, but to wallow in it and not want to get yourself out of that, it's unhealthy. So ultimately, that's what water dreams. It's tied to your emotions, right? Happiness. It's also tied to mothering emotions as well too, healing emotions in dreams. I told you before, fish and Caribbean descent, or Caribbean culture is associated to pregnancy, right? I also had a coworker who told me um, she dreamt of a rotten fish and her friend had a miscarriage. Um, I'm trying to think of some common dreams. Let's talk about, teeth falling out, um, crocodiles attacking you. Somebody is out there talking mad shit about you. Snakes biting you. An animal biting you in a dream is not a good sign. It usually means like you're gonna get into an argument, a fight. Somebody's out there talking shit about you. Somebody's stabbing you behind your back. Snakes can also be rebirth and transformation, so it depends on the dream. Is the snake trying to protect you, or whatever the case is? Sometimes it could also be deities, so just be very aware and conscious of what the dream feels like. That's very important. But something attacking you, trying to bite you, means somebody gonna fuck you over. Mine's is usually like dog, cat, snake, but snake is like somebody slimy, or crocodile, somebody fucked up, like somebody trying to fuck you over. Spider dreams, um, especially if it's like a lot of webbing or the spider attacks you, that means you are feeling overbeared by a mother figure in your life. A mother figure in your life is like not giving you the time or the space that you need to sorry, I'm like trying to adjust this, to like be yourself. You're feeling like somebody is just overwhelming and consuming you. um Webs are a representation of feeling trapped, right? Entrapment. I'm trying to think of what else. Certain animals are like, good luck. Birds are usually a good sign of good luck. If it's like a white bird or like a colorful bird like blue jay, cardinals, those are usually like good luck birds, because you also have like, bad luck birds in the dream. And it also depends on the context of the dream. That's very important, because I don't want to just start saying this means that and that's it. But also the context of the dream. How did you feel? Who was around you at the time when it happened? Whatever the case is. um I'm trying to think of what else, some other symbolism. I feel like ones that are like, I'm trying to bring up like ones that are like usually very why did I say condom? Common. Why the fuck would I say that? Common. Oh my god. In Caribbean culture, this is another one. You know how people say when your palm itch, when your palm itch, you're gonna get some money. If you dream of feces, yes, you heard that right. If you dream of feces, it means unexpected money is coming to you. That's Caribbean culture. Don't know what it's like for any other culture, because everybody else has their own interpretations and dream symbolisms. But I'm gonna tell you now, that Dookie dream has never let a bitch down. Every single time I knew I was coming into some kind of money, a random check, something random, some random money was coming in. I'm not talking about a paycheck, not something I was unexpected. You about to win some money off a lottery ticket, whether it's a little $100, $200, you about to get some unexpected money. Never fucking fails. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna just end the episode here before I just start ranting about some other shit. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all so much. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for tuning and stopping by. Please make sure you check your girl out. Thank you so much for your support. I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.